Hey everyone, what is going on and welcome back to today's video. In today's video we're getting into another operator guide. Now as I said last week, we have officially completed every operator guide. So technically I really shouldn't be doing this, but seems how I just want to confirm this. I'm going to make one operator guide and just confirm if you guys want me to redo operators, and if I'm going to redo operators it's going to have to be suggested operators that you guys leave down below. So I'm really going to need your input here. If you want me to redo pretty much any operator I've covered in the past, if you feel like the video missed some things, obviously I have the comment sections of the previous videos that I can utilize to make better videos, etc. But today's video we're going over Hibana, because I was just having a look. The first video I uploaded was only 4 minutes long, and it was my second video I uploaded, which is over a year ago now. She's definitely had some changes. I just dived into a game with her then. I played her, wanted to see what was new. She's had a few changes, so I think I can definitely make a more in-detail video on her, so that's why I'm going to be covering her today. But with that said, I do want input after this, because even though like videos, I think Nomad got requested last video, but literally nothing's really changed with Nomad. I feel like maybe a few site changes, but I don't think that's really worth a whole nother guide. But if you guys really do want me to make updated guides just because the old ones are a little bit out of date, just let me know an operator down below and I will probably do it. So seems how my Sundays are going to be pretty empty without the operator guides. I would like to keep doing them, but obviously I'm going to need you guys' input, and that is what I'm asking right now for. So for today though, we're going to be covering Hibana, seeing if I can do a little bit of a more in-detail guide and let you know what's new about her since the last time I made a video on her. So here we are, and with that said, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, drop a sub, notification bell, and also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. Links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there. Again, leave some comments down below on what you want me to do with the operator guides, who you want to see, and let's get into it. So as always, we're going to start off with a weapon review, then we're going to move on to the gadget utilization and finish off with the operator strategy. So the weapon review. Hibana has access to two primary weapons. So first of being is the Type 89 assault rifle, 40 damage on 850 rounds per minute fire rate. This gun is great. I really do love this weapon. It has a lot of power. It has pretty minimal recoil. Pretty much it only drifts up to the right, so all we have to do is pull down and pull down to the left. I think the left of your controller, because it's going to the right. I think that's the right description of it, but it's a very simple recoil pattern. If you just hop into a terrace hunt and shoot it at a wall, you'll probably get it down pat quite easily. It really isn't a hard recoil pattern to get used to, which is one of the reasons this weapon is so powerful. Another reason is just this sheer damage, 40 damage per shot, 850 rounds per minute fire rates. They are both pretty significantly high stats, which do make this quite an just overall great weapon. I think the main thing that kind of like underrates it a little bit is its magazine size, like Nomad's ARX for something, because I was talking about Nomad, I felt like bringing that up. 20 bullets in the magazine. That can be seen as low for some people. I think personally that it's enough. I usually hit either a killing shot or I die within 20 bullets, I think. So I think that's more than enough bullets for me to work with. But for some people, it's just not enough. They need that 30. That's completely fair enough. But if that is you, this weapon is definitely not for you, and I definitely recommend you wouldn't play it. But if you feel confident enough for you to get those shots in those first 20 bullets, then this weapon really is a strong weapon that you can utilize on the attacking side. And that is just personally my opinion. It has access to the ACOG still. The ACOG was not removed off Hibana. She also has access to the red dot holographic reflex and the 1.5, which is the newer sight added to the game. If you prefer that, I know a lot of people do. And pretty much that's just the Type 89. It's a really great assault rifle. I think it brings a lot of capability to the team, and it just is a great weapon to bring in Hibana's loadout. Her other alternative is the Supernova shotgun. This is a pretty good compact pump shotgun, 12 gauge with extra ammunition capacity. That is its official description. So yeah, obviously it has more ammo than your standard 12 gauge according to that description. It also has better recoil control. That's what the game says. So, but 48 damage a shot on a it does have a pump. So you're gonna want to get close and personal with this, because you're not really gonna have time to get that pump and get another shot off in most situations. So you're gonna either hit that first shot or just don't utilize this gun at all. I personally think the Type 89 is 100% better than the Supernova in terms of Hibana, because as an attacker you're going to find yourself in long range much more than close range fights, because you're pushing people who are in positions. If you're in the position as a defender, that's why shotguns are more utilized over there, such as people like Smoke and Mute. But as an attacker, I feel like you should always bring the AR, and I definitely recommend the Type 89 over the Supernova. But if you are a shotgun person, I'm not going to stop you, but I just personally think, although the Supernova has some power, Type 89 is always going to be superior. In terms of her secondary weapon, she has access to the P229 and the Bearing 9. The P229 does 51 damage, trigger finger fire rate, 12 bullets in the capacity. It's a pretty good handgun, but no one uses that, and I definitely wouldn't recommend you use that. Even if you can't control the Bearing 9's recoil whatsoever, it's still a much better, more effective option than the P229 because it just outputs more bullets in a faster rate of fire, which is what you want in a secondary. 33 damage on a 25 bullet capacity, 1,100 rounds per minute fire rate. This weapon is a great secondary. It is one of the few machine pistols in this game. I personally believe it just closes out Hibana's loadout into being one of the top tier loadouts in the game, having access to the Type 89 and the Bearing 9, two weapons that still have a lot of power even in today's game, and just an overall great loadout that she has access to. I'd definitely recommend you utilize the Bearing 9 as your secondary, but if you really think you can't control it and you're that bad with it, for one, put some practice in, and yeah, just get used to it so you can utilize this weapon, but if not, the P226 is there if you need it. In terms of her breaching weapon, she has access to breach charges and gadgets. Now, I would say that use the stun grenades due to her such powerful loadout, so you can actually take advantage of the fragging side of Hibana, but she really is more of a flex operator because she has these breach charges and her gadget as well. And then you'll find that most of the time Hibana's primary role as a breacher is to breach the hatches up above, which means utilizing these breach charges as well means you can also take advantage of soft roofs or floors, so you can breach them and you can take advantage of that as well, which is another way you can utilize her when you're playing vertical play with Hibana, which is definitely my recommended strategy of play, but we'll get into that soon. So really both of these do work. It just depends whether you're executor a fragging side more or a support side more. With that said, that is the weapon review. That's about all I have to say. Let's get into a gadget utilization. Obviously, Hibana has access to the XKROS gadget, 40mm grenade cannon launcher, grenade launcher firing explosive pellets that can be detonated from a distance. Now, there's been a few changes with this thing since when I made the first guide. Obviously, one of the major changes that I've noticed is when I booted up that game, is when you get out the gadget, you have the ability to select either 6 pellets, 4 pellets, or 2 pellets. Now, you have access to 18 total pellets, I'm pretty sure, and so you have the utilization to make smaller holes, just peak holes with the 2 pellets, maybe a bit more of a bigger peak hole with the 4 pellets, and then obviously a full-sized original Hibana hole with the 6 pellets, and you are able to customize your pellet utilization depending on how you feel like playing. This is something that definitely was not a thing back when I made that first guide, and it is a great addition. I feel like it gives you more flexibility with utilizing your pellets, and you don't have to use all of your pellets to do certain things. So I think definitely it fits the role of her perfectly, and it's definitely a great update that they did additionally do to her. But even with this update, I still think the XKROS has a lot of similarities to its original form. Obviously, it is still primarily used for hatch breaching. This is her main role. It obviously can be used for hard breaching as well, but with the timer that it takes for it to go off, it's obviously going to be a lot slower than just utilizing a thermite. Obviously, even Ace, I think, will probably be a faster option now that he exists in the game. But yeah, pretty much there's still a lot of things that you can utilize her with in terms of hard breaching, but I still think hatch play is still her specific focus as a hard breacher and what you should play her for, which is why I was recommending bringing those breach charges before, because when you're playing vertical play, you're going to want to utilize getting that soft floor blown up as well, so you have lines of sight even if the hatch doesn't give you any, etc, etc. You can get teammates to do it. It depends on your situation, but if you are primarily playing her for her role as a character and you're not just being a fragging god, then bring the breach charges. I think that's definitely probably what I would recommend. But with that said, that's pretty much all a gadget really has to do. I don't think there's really much else to cover. It is obviously primarily a hatch breaching device, and that's really a good summary of it. You don't really have to go into any more detail. But yeah, let's get into her operator strategies. As I've been saying pretty much throughout this whole video, I think she fits a flex role the most. She has incredible fragging capabilities with her weapons. She has one of, as I said, arguably some of god tier loadouts in terms of her weapons. She has the Bearing 9 and the Type what's it called again? Sorry, I forgot. The Type 89. I thought it was 79. Type 89, so obviously 2 really solid, strong weapons that you can utilize when you are playing as an attacker. Weapons that have access to long range and short range, and just fills pretty much everything you need as a fragger. But she also has a really useful gadget that you don't really want to put to waste by rushing in, utilizing the 3-speed that she obviously does have, and just dying, and then you can't utilize the XKROS, and you've just picked her for no reason. If you're going to rush in and die, at least play Ashe. So, but that pretty much sums her up. I think she should be utilized as a fragger, but I think she should utilize her. I'm saying utilize a lot, but I think you should use her XK just as much as you should use her weapons. So I'm trying to find myself saying utilize. So yeah, that pretty much sums up her operator strategies, to be honest. Take your time with her, don't be too aggressive, but obviously you can take gunfights. You have a great loadout. If you know you're going to get that, hit those shots, you got them droned out, etc. You have a great loadout that can put up a great gunfight against pretty much any operator on the defending side. So you really can take advantage of that and just get into these fights. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't stop you from doing that if I was on your team. I think that's a great way to play. But obviously, as I said, just take into account that you do have a support role, and your role most of the time when you pick Hibana is to go and get the hatches. Once you've done that, go crazy. I don't really have anything. If I'm speaking from a teammate's perspective right now, I wouldn't have anything against you just going crazy. And even if you die, as long as you got those hatches open. If you can't get them open, do something else with those pellets. Make sure you utilize them in some shape, way, or form. But other than that, just go crazy with those weapons. You have a lot of potential as a character, and yeah, just do your thing. With that said, though, I think that pretty much sums up everything I wanted to say about Hibana. I hope this was a nice updated guide. I hope you guys found this useful in some way. And if you did, make sure let me know down below, and also let me know if you thought this was absolutely useless, because I am always looking to improve my videos, so feedback would be much appreciated. But with that said, if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like. Again, make sure to drop a sub, notification bell, and also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. Links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there. I do a lot of streaming. I do a lot of videos. I really would appreciate the support, but obviously it's up to yous. And again, let me know down below what operators you want to see in future, if you do want me to make any more, or we can just end the operator guides right here, right now. With that said, though, I hope you enjoyed again. I hope I could help. Hope you guys develop some sort of new knowledge about Hibana that can be utilized. Obviously, this is more of a beginner's guide, so there's probably not any advanced tips here, but it's good enough. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.